Today I'm going to be completing a super hill dive operation, all 3 missions, using what I would deem primitive equipment. This turned out to be much harder than I originally thought, like most challenges I do are. I'm going to be using the Constitution as the primary, the Stun Lance as our secondary, and the throwing knives for our equipment, and no stratagems, but really let's just say minimal stratagems. I decided to allow myself to use Ballistic Shield as a sort of classic sword and shield like loadout, like some sort of Spartan or something. There's going to be a couple times where I'll have to call like a Hell Bomb or equip an Orbital Precision Strike. I mean, at one point I had tried completing the Invasion mission type, where you need to destroy 5 UFOs to win. This is very hard to do when all you have to take out their futuristic shields is throwing knives and hitting them with a high-powered taser. Anyways, now that you know what kind of restrictions we have, we can jump straight into this. So I equipped my loadout, braced myself for the challenge, and went ahead and picked an operation. Well, at first I put a lot more thought into this, figuring the only way for me to possibly complete this challenge was by running away from everything. I was pleasantly surprised when the second operation I viewed seemed to be a perfect fit. I knew grabbing the black box from the recon planes wreck wouldn't be too difficult, as I would just have to grab it and run, and then hit some buttons on a panel and I'd be finished. I couldn't really see raising 2 Super Earth flags and calling a Hell Bomb to destroy some alien cell phone tower being too difficult either. You'd think the escort civilian missions would be the toughest, because how am I supposed to defend these people when I can't even really defend myself? Retrieve intel would probably be the easiest, so I'll save that one for last. And the free colony has the most objectives, thinking that might be the toughest. I'll start with that one. Spawning right in on top of one of the objectives might speed up this process a little bit, and I can't really use stealth when raising the flags anyway, so I figured dropping in right on top of it wouldn't be too bad. Things didn't start off too bad. I figured I'd just run around and poke the voteless any chance I get. Their numbers are concerning, but they're not too much of an issue generally. Most of our problems came from the Overseers and the power 1000 suns they hit you with every time they swing that staff. Getting both flags raised costed me all of my lives, and as I was hightailing it away trying to lose the enemy, this harvester locked onto me and cooked me with his laser eyes. I really didn't realize how much damage they did until now, and I don't think I can block this with the shield, so I really have no means of dealing with them, so they'll just have to be avoided for the time being.
Oh, dude. No!
I did manage to find another operation with the same layout after reloading the game a few times, with the same logic as before I started with the free colony mission. I landed outside the city this time and snuck in. I got to what I assumed was the only way up to the flag, and it was surrounded by guards. I was gonna attempt sneaking past regardless until this stupid little drone thing spotted me through a wall. Having to fight my way up to the flag, I found that throwing knife is much better than I previously thought.
Eat knife. Eat knife.
Being able to take out an Overseer with a couple throws isn't great, but it's probably the best weapon I have. The Stun Lance is similar, but I have to get much closer to use it, and at least with the throwing knife I can take out the flying ones. Between the raise the flag and the monolith objective, I managed to lose the Illuminant, only to still die by this random glorified lightning rod I didn't see. Then I died again as I was leaving to another one. This is easily the most stealth I've ever used in this game, where you'll be like running from a group of enemies and then you'll duck behind a street lamp and you'll watch the enemies that were just chasing you like walk right past you, and then they're like, oh, must have been the wind. Then they'll detect you anyways because they're cheating aliens, so that's always great. Sneaking around observing the enemies is much more interesting than you might think. Like, I saw this dude over here throwing a temper tantrum. I can only assume he's angry that I got away.
What's that dude swinging at over there? He's just angry. He's like, oh, he got away.
I did finally complete the first mission in the operation. Feeling pretty good about this, I went and jumped straight into the second one. I know I said I'll do the retrieve intel mission last, but I was very excited to get this down to 2/3 of the way done. So I started with this one thinking it'd be pretty easy. That was until I died. I lost to another harvester. Like, these dudes do way too much damage. I didn't even realize I had used all my lives till it was over. Well, having to reset the whole operation is a little demoralizing, but I wanted to just hurry up and catch back up to where I was as quickly as possible, except I couldn't really find any operations like the 2 we had just attempted before. After multiple resets, the closest I could find are these operations that have these destroy warp ship missions in them, which are Blitz missions, which you might think might make this easier because they're quicker, but it doesn't. I really have no way to destroy these UFOs like I've mentioned at the beginning of the video. After a while, I just decided to equip the Orbital Precision Strike. I feel this isn't too much of a cheat since you start with it anyways, and I'm also only going to be using it to destroy these ships so I can complete the objective. I was almost done clearing out the 5 warp ships I needed when I accidentally threw down an SOS beacon instead of a resupply. Even though my game was on private, I guess this overrided that because people started joining immediately after. I figured I'd just play it out since I've completed most of the mission on my own anyways. I mentioned I was doing a challenge, and when we made it back to the ship, I offered my new friends a chance to join me on my adventure. I don't think they were even slightly amused by this and left immediately. Anyways, being back to 1/3 of the way done, I went ahead and jumped straight into the retrieve intel mission, the same mission type I failed on last time. Nothing too crazy actually happened this time. I managed to complete the objective just by doing it really quick before too many of the enemy forces arrived. They were still kind of grouping up when I did manage to finish the objective. I did attempt to extract, but the number of harvesters just makes this impossible. Fortunately, you don't have to live to complete the mission. And finally, we have one mission left. It's Free Colony. I'm really ready for this to be over at this point. We just need to raise 2 flags and blow up an Illuminate cell phone tower. I was feeling pretty good about this, with this being my last mission till I call this a win. I got spotted pretty soon after landing to whatever this bull is right here. I don't even know how he spotted me from over there. I managed to use all my life fairly quickly in this one, but despite this, the mission did run somewhat smooth. For some reason, I didn't run into hardly any harvesters throughout either of the raise flag objectives, and taking out the monoliths didn't take but 30 seconds, so I was able to get in and out of there pretty quick. I did get fairly worried a couple times, as every time I died, I would just go and hide for 2 minutes so I'd have a spare life available. But I had enough room around both flags to just run in circles and pop a stim every 10 to 20 seconds. And finally, I got the last flag. I ran out of lives multiple times. I've lost multiple operations, which, by the way, I'm sorry, Super Earths. Might drag our score down a little bit, but at least I can say I completed a super hell dive with what might be the worst weapons in the game, and mostly melee, honestly. A big thank you to everyone who made it this far. I know this isn't my usual type of content, like I mostly do space engineers, but I've been playing a lot of Helldivers lately since the Illuminate emerged, and I really like the idea of like these challenge videos and stuff, and I've already done a couple of these already for space engineers. Ultimately, I just want to make content I like, even if it doesn't always do good. Like some of the, like this video might not do that well because it's not space engineers, but I had a lot of fun making it, so I hope you guys enjoy. Anyways, you guys have an awesome night.
But we did it. We did it. Operation complete. I mean, I did it. Operation complete.